Dominic Fleshman here. This is going to be a kind of more casual making of video of the score of Path of the Jedi. This is my first project post-Resonance music-wise, and I'm graduating from just a piano to a full orchestra on a MacBook Pro. So I started this off kind of like Rogue One. I wanted a very stark, just quick cut intro to the stars, and so I used this backwards bow piano that I found in the depths of Logic that I really enjoyed. This next motif right here, I kind of called the Path March, the Path theme. This is kind of the initial idea that I came up with for this film after we shot it. And I love the lower strings, and we come in with a little bit more brass on the upper end. I had a longer version of this, but I kind of had to truncate it as we, got the beginning to be a little bit shorter and more concise. And then we come in for this main theme. I didn't want to use the main Star Wars theme. I kind of wanted to follow the Star Wars story way of kind of having this different theme happen with the text. And then right here, you'll hear the tremolo strings. I use this a lot. I think I might have overused it in the score, but it was a lot of fun and adds a lot of tension. It allows these moments where when it cuts out, I could use the high end to kind of accentuate this mystery. Speaking of mysteries, I wanted to use the Force theme, but kind of hated how the films have overused it, and so I kind of wanted to incorporate it without it being the full phrase, the full statement. Oh, I love the low bass tremolo here. I think this whole piece is also in the same key. That's something that I eventually got to after doing a few projects, is realizing that you can have different songs be in different keys in the same piece. And speaking of using, old themes, I wanted to incorporate Yoda's theme here too, as Mythos kind of mocks Yoda. It's one of my favorite themes from Star Wars. Now this lightsaber fight, I think I like the music for this one more than the second fight. I feel like there's a lot of tension here. More akin to like the prequel duel music, as opposed to the original trilogy, which is the music that I think I kind of prefer, but in the time frame that this takes place, it made sense to have it be more prequel-esque. And then here we have this tremolo going again. I forget, I did this weird panning thing with the strings where they kind of swished around, and I liked how the lightsaber comes in and the music stops. I made sure to have moments in it that didn't have score because I felt that you don't have to have music for everything. Now this piece here, I don't know why I used the Imperial March at all in this, considering nothing has to do with the Empire, but this is my first time using percussion in the score, and timpanis felt really natural to Star Wars, and kind of adding in the strings and the tremolo. And I like this end note being this high note that goes. It kind of reminds me of tinnitus after hearing loss, which I think makes sense after a huge explosion like that. Now I use the timpanis here as like almost the leading pulse versus the strings, which have been doing most of the heavy lifting during this. The strings instead have more of a melodic theme here. This kind of reminded me of some of the moments in Return of the Jedi, like right before the Sarlacc pit. We have this kind of tension built by having these stanzas that have these pauses in between, and I felt that the timpanis did a really good job doing that as well. And it hits a different frequency than the rest of the instruments had up until this point. And I go back to the tremolo strings, and again I have this quick motif of like surprise. I just used this kind of pulled a Last Jedi there. I think I like the openness of these timpani moments because throughout the rest of the piece, it's just there's a lot of stress and strain happening, but these are kind of the moments where we're taking a breath to speak or to think, and not just to fight and be on a mission. And so, yeah, I mean, it's only about 5 minutes of music, but I probably spent a few months on it, and I learned a lot in Logic doing this project that I think was very helpful to the future music that I made. And I love this end credit sequence. This is can give you kind of the idea of the longer build of the beginning. This basically is what I sent my friend Amber right before we started the editing process and said, this is kind of the theme that I'm thinking for this. So thanks for listening.